you guys go have a good time. I want you to have fun and fellowship, but I want it to be spiritual as well. And I want us to be interconnected. Yes. I want us to be interconnected because if I'm praying for you, I have a hard time being mad at you. And so let's just remember that. Hi, Carrie. How are you? I waved at you while ago, but you were talking, so you didn't see me. So that's all right. If you would, take your Bible out. How many have your Bible and the equivalent thereof? Amen. And we're going to start. You know me, I just start. I don't waste a lot of time. Try not to. I want to tell you how much I appreciate you all being here. Here we are at the holiday season, and I put this picture on it yesterday because I want you to remember, we got Thanksgiving in 4 days. Isn't that crazy? You have Christmas 4 weeks after that. That's crazy. And and we've had one cold snap, and you guys are bundled up like it's freezing in here. 908 degrees in here. And just here in just a second. I want you guys to realize time is short. Listen, I'll be gone for 10 days, and I'm stressing over leaving the church for 10 days and make sure, the wheels don't fall off and all that stuff. But I'll be gone to Israel, and the place we're flying into, Tel Aviv. We're flying to Tel Aviv, right, Tommy? Had 3 people get killed yesterday. Hallelujah. That's all right. That's all right. God's still with us, amen? We got psychos trying to stab people while they're in the synagogue praying and stuff, God's still good. God's still good, amen? I'm excited about getting to go, amen? I appreciate you guys allowing me to go and paying for me to go. It's most appreciative. But I appreciate you guys allowing me to go, and I'm looking forward to the trip. I'm not looking forward to leaving my family for 10 days. I've never been away from my wife for 10 days, have I? Alaska, maybe, one time. And so it's just really weird for us, but it'll be all good. So you guys behave yourselves, hear me? Man, I don't want to get a phone call. And so, anyway, have your Bible, 1 Peter chapter 4. 1 Peter chapter 4. And I appreciate Joey and Kelly. I appreciate their heart, and I appreciate what they're doing, and I thank God their willingness to step up into that role. And I just thank God that they're willing to do that, amen, and take on a role. A year ago, listen, how long have you guys been coming now, Joey? 3 years. That's crazy. 3 years? That's unbelievable. That is hard to believe that they've been in this church for 3 years. It's hard to believe I'm starting my 5th year as a pastor of this church. That's craziness. And so this goes by like that, doesn't it? So don't you realize we're at the end of the year? That things are happening so rapidly, and we're at the end of the year, and it's coming. Listen, I'll be 47 years old in 6 weeks. I will. Happy birthday to me. Okay. And so I'll be 47. I see 47. Let's say 46. Okay, I'll be 47. Okay. That went by quick. That 47 years went by like that. So, especially the last 5 have gone like crazy. When my kids when they were born, and man, your life just goes like fast. And we're out of time. We're out of time to worry about things and worry about little nitpicking things and stuff like that. So I'm going to talk to you for a little bit about, hey, how come I start here is not a thing? Ethan Paul, Ethan James, Ethan, thank you. Ethan. DJ EJ? My goodness. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. I mean, it starts here. What we do starts here. I don't know where you're going or what. Listen, you can go wherever you want to go and do whatever you want to do, and I can come and preach and scream and holler and spit at you and all that stuff, and you can still go to hell if you want to. It's up to you. I can't make you not go to hell. I can beg you not to. I can tell you how to live for the Lord. I can show you how to live for the Lord. I can disciple you. I can do all these things. But you eventually make the choice. So let's start here. It all starts here. I put this graphic up because I want to get it into your spirit. When you see it and hear it, you remember it more. So I guarantee you tonight, more people remember it starts here than they did if I just said it. It starts here. What starts here? Everything in your life starts here. Everything in my life starts at the house of God. Everything that we do starts right now, right here, today. Now listen, 1 Peter 4:17, it says this. It says this, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God. And if it first began at us, what shall the end of them that obey the gospel of God? You know, that's what I say, are they off the nod? Okay, I want to make sure. And if it first began at us, what shall the end be of them that obey? Not the gospel of God. The time has come and the judgment of God must start here. You guys might as well get with me. The judgment of God starts right where you're sitting. Examine yourself. I preached Wednesday night, and I know that most of y'all don't come on Wednesday night because it's optional. But Wednesday night, I preached my heart out Wednesday night. I don't know if you guys even remember what I preached. I'll get through this puberty thing later. I don't know if you remember what I preached. Okay? Pouring out my soul to the church. What's your testimony? Jesus' testimony was this, that the blind see, the lame walk, the deaf hear, the gospel is preached to the poor. What is your testimony? Are you the real deal is what I preached, remember? Are you the real deal? Are you really who you say you are? Are you who you say you are just because you're sitting in a church? Are you who you say you are when you walk outside of these doors? Listen, I wish I had the ability. I know you can do it, but I don't have the know-how to show a video of when you walk out the door and you walk out to this vast street out here. Hello. When you walk out into the street, that's where everything starts. When you walk out, not in here, but when you walk out and you're able to do what God's called you to do, and you have a calling on your life, listen, not just I want a job, so somebody give me a job, I got a calling until I get the job, now I don't want to do the job anymore, because I found out it's work to do ministry. I found out it costs me money to do ministry. Everybody wants to give the church a receipt to reimburse paper they bought. Get mad if you want. Hallelujah. Whatever happens to buying paper. Okay. It got quiet in here. That's okay. Whatever happens to buying paper because you needed it for your class. Can the church give me $2.50 for that? Sure. Here's your blessing. Get mad if you want. But it's the truth. Whatever happened to doing stuff because you want to do it for the house of the Lord. Amen. Whatever happened to doing stuff because it was your ministry. No, it wasn't your job. It was your ministry. It wasn't that you wanted to do it because somebody would pat you on the back and you could come to our staff Christmas dinner and all that stuff. Is because that somebody needed it to be done, and you just did it because you love the Lord and you just love those people, and you did it because you just wanted to be part of ministry. Now listen, I didn't say if we have a big purchase and you do something for us and we have to reimburse you for that. That's not a big deal for that. I'm talking about for every stinking little nitpicking thing. Have you lost your mind? Or you lost your blessing? You might as well lose your mind. But in God's house, listen, the judgment is now to examine ourselves. I know that's not popular preaching and nobody wants to hear that. Listen, I'm not going to be able to write a book on not being reimbursed for your paper. Okay, I won't be able to write a book and nobody will buy it. But the truth of the matter is simply this. Why? Why? Why do we have to be paid to do everything in the house of God now? You know what it used to be? No one used to be in charge of turning anything on. The first one that got there turned on the heat. It wasn't somebody's job. It was just common sense. It was cold in the church, and I'm here first, I'll turn on the heat. And they didn't even give me a recognition for that. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. If there was trash in the parking lot, we just picked it up. Way to go. Well, somebody needs to pick all that trash up. Really? Pick up the trash in the park. This is God's house. This is God's house. somebody throws paper towel and they miss the trash can and it's in the floor in the bathroom, pick it up. Well, they didn't pick it up. I don't care. You're not them. Be blessed. Judgment begins here. Judgment begins right here, right now, right here. Okay? It begins right here. How I got to examine myself. Who am I? Am I that person that just leaves paper laying? Am I that person that has to have everything recognized? Or does somebody have to pat me on the back all the time? Or am I somebody that has a ministry that I'm going to work for and I'm going to do what God's called me to do no matter what they say? It starts here. What are you going to do with yourself? Are you going to be that person that is always, man, listen, it's easy to bully a bunch of kids in the back. Make them scared of you. But you won't do that junk with me. Because I'm not scared of you. We'll bully a bunch of kids. Scream and holler at them. You get mad again. I've been gone for 10 days. Y'all get over it. Y'all vote somebody else in that 10 days. Whatever you want to do. But I ain't going to bully a bunch of kids. Make them scared to come to church. Were you scared to come to church as a kid? I want you to do something for me. Next time you're talking to one of these kids, if someone talks to your child the way you're talking to that child, you'd be up in arms and leave the church mad. We'll come back for a month. Because Johnny got his feelings hurt. But I'm going to ask you a question. They are, y'all don't know, it's okay. They are the most precious entity that we have. And we treat them like they're the least important. And you'll forgive this pastor's heart if it gets under my skin. You'll forgive this pastor's heart if it gets under my skin. Okay, I'll leave it alone. In God's house is where things all start. Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God created what? The heavens and the earth, right? It all started with God in the heavens, in his house of dwelling. Listen, God was in the heavens, it all started with him. It all started with him and said, let us make man in our own image. He breathed upon the face of the earth, and the earth became, it was void without form. And then the Holy Ghost walked upon the face of the earth. The breath of God moved upon the face of the earth and began to grow and be what it is. Why? Because it started in God's house. And so it starts here. Young folks, old folks, everybody folks. It starts with us. This city will not be changed because I preach this message. This city will not hear this message except for whoever hears it on YouTube and the ears that I have in front of me. Some will not even remember what I preach by the time you leave this building. Some will not remember by next week what I preached last week. Some will not even remember Wednesday what I preached today. But somebody's going to have to get hold of a word from God. Somebody's going to have to say, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start here. It's time for me to start. How many times must I preach in the last 4.5 years? It's time to go. It's time to start. It's time to get ready. It's time to go. How many times must I preach the same thing? Who's getting quiet? But in the beginning, God created. God started it. In Jude, there's only one chapter. Jude 14. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints, verse 15, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds, which they have ungodly committed, and of their hard speeches. Can I just share? Y'all sit down and shut up! Hard speech. Oh, they don't matter, right? They're just kids, right? Listen, understand. Look at me, y'all look at my nose. Look at my nose. Okay. We have a wonderful youth department and they're doing a great job. I don't mean to say anything about it, okay? But there are times, and I understand it. Please don't get mad at me, don't get offended at me. But there are times when we need to think about what we say out of our mouths. There are times the way we need to stop treating the precious gift God's given us. And they're back there today, they're working hard. There's Candy's back there, and Cody's back there, and Kelsey's back there, and April's back there, and I don't know who else is back there. I don't know if Amy's back there, Amy's back there, and they're working hard. And they're out there sweating, and they're doing everything they can, and they're trying to do everything they can, I promise you. But there are times, and I just use them for an example. Please don't get offended at me and say, Jeff said we had the worst youth department. Listen, if it was the worst youth department ever, there wouldn't be 100 of them here on Wednesday night. Amen. So let me just share that with you, okay? But I just want to share, I just want to tell you that I can use it as an example because I want you to get it in your head. I want you to understand. Hard speeches, which ungodly sinners have spoken against. Verse 16. These are murmurers. These are murmur, complainers, walking after their own lusts, and their mouths speak great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage. You're the best pastor ever. We love you. Oh yeah. Now where are you going to go? Cool, there you go. You're the best pastor. Hey, what's up? Okay. You're the best pastor ever. Hey, can you believe what he did? He doesn't even care. He doesn't even know what he's doing. All the ages are wrong. He doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, look around you, prophet. I'm not a know-it-all, but I'm a know-something, and I'm a listener to the Lord's voice. I'm a hearer. I have one mouth and two ears. I listen a whole lot more than I talk. Because God gave me an ability to listen to His voice and to do what He tells me to do. Regardless if you like it, regardless if I like it. There's a lot of things that I don't like. And I say, God, that's easy for you. You're up there, I'm down here. That's fine. But here, understand me. Admiration of advantage, verse 17. I'm trying to hurry. Lord, it's hot here. But beloved, remember ye the words which were spoken before the apostles of our Lord Jesus Christ. How that they told you there should be mockers in the last time, who should walk after their own ungodly lust. 19. These be they who separate themselves, sensual, having not the Spirit. That's right. But ye, beloved, building up yourselves in your most holy faith, praying in the Holy Ghost. Go back to 19. 19. These be they who separate themselves, sensual, having not the Spirit. You know, Christians are like old cars. They start missing before they quit. Hear me? They start separating themselves before they quit. Christians get their feelings hurt about whatever reason, and instead of sucking it up and being men and women of God, what they do is start finding somebody they can, coven with. So they can begin to talk about every stinking problem. Stephen did this, Casey did that, Nicoma did this, Naomi did that, Jeff won't do that. They start covenanting with them, witchcrafting with them about things. So can I share with you? It starts here. Your life change starts here. I know that's, listen, I know a lot of people don't like preaching like this, and I'm sorry, but you know what, this may be my last Sunday morning ever, who knows? You never know. So hear me. What happens? What happens if I go and stand before God and say, well, I just want everybody to feel good, so I didn't say what you told me to say. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what God says for me to do. Listen, God said He would finish it. He started it in Genesis. He will finish it in Jude. Actually, Revelation. But in Jude, he said he would finish it. It is finished. It's over with. He started it. He will finish it. If you start today, God will finish your journey. But you've got to leave before you can start finishing your journey. You have to take off. You have to start from the starting line. You can't just stay at the starting line and say, well, whenever God gets ready, I'll move. You've got to move. You've got to go. You've got to do something. Listen, a change in our lives. A lot of us, listen, a lot of folks are Christmas trees. When you talk about Christmas trees, if you keep reading, go to verse 20. No, I lied. Go to verse, I believe it's 11 or 12 of Jude. I didn't write it down. 12. These are spots in your feast of charity, when they feast with you, feeding themselves without fear. Clouds they are without water, carried about with winds. Trees whose fruit whose fruit withereth. I'll get my mouth to work in a minute. Without fruit, twice dead, plucked up at the roots. I remember as a kid, we didn't have artificial trees. If you did, you had one of those aluminum ones. Remember? The ugly aluminum. Okay. We always had a real tree that my dad went and bought somewhere, got it at Gibson's or something. Okay. And you had remember you had the big bowl that you had to screw the thing in, make sure it was straight, and had water in the bowl so your tree didn't dry out in the next 2 weeks. And so, but the tree was dead because it's cut off at the roots, right? But you tried to keep it alive enough with water in it. Come on. So that the lights wouldn't catch it on fire and burn your house down. Remember? Okay. Just letting you know. Remember, Christmas Vacation. Have you ever seen Christmas Vacation? Okay. Boom. You know what that happened to your tree. And so a lot of you young people don't even have a clue what I'm talking about, because all you've ever had is artificial pre-lit trees. And so you don't have any idea what I'm talking about, dragging a cedar tree through your house and then stepping on the little things, because you have your socks on, they get stuck in your socks and you're poking your feet. Amen? Okay, so yeah, some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. But that tree was dead, but it was on a temporary life support system with that bowl, and it had the nuts screwed into it to keep it straight so it wouldn't fall down, and water in it so that the tree would completely dry out. But listen, there was no fruit on the tree because the tree was dead. But all it was decorated so it looked pretty, and so it wasn't really a fruitful tree, it was just a decorated tree. And there's so many Christians who are not fruitful, they're just decorated. Just decorated. We know when to stand up, we know when to sit down, we know what songs to sing, we know how to say hallelujah and amen. We know all those things. But don't you dare cross us, because I'll let the dead part of me come on out. Because I'll burn your house down if you cross me. If I run out of water, I'll burn this place to the ground. I don't care how pretty your tree is. I don't care what you have on it and how many artificial things you have on it. Do you remember you used to put the icicles on them and all that stuff, amen? And listen, nobody had pre-lit perfect little trees. It had the little rings that we made in preschool, and it had the little construction paper rings, you know, and we put that around the thing. Anybody remember? Okay. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember some put popcorn? We never did popcorn, but my mom and dad didn't care what the tree looked like as long as we were leaving them alone and doing it. Okay? So we throw stuff on the tree and stuff around the tree, and the whole front of it was decorated, but the back didn't have nothing on it. Amen? Hear me. Some of us ain't got nothing on our back. Some of us look the part, and some of us look all pretty. We got icicles and popcorn and multicolored lights. There's a bunch of them in the middle and one on top, and couldn't get an angel because our ceilings weren't tall enough to put an angel on top. Amen? You got a tree, the tree always bent on the top because it's touching the ceiling. Truth. Amen? We couldn't get an angel on top of it. But what we had was this. We had a dead tree in a pot of water, trying to keep it alive long enough to make it through the holiday season. And then you had a dead tree you didn't know what to do with, because we didn't live out in the country. You had to go find a place to dump it. Couldn't burn it because we lived in town. You had to go find a place to dump the thing. Twice dead. Plucked up at the roots. Verse 13. 13. Raging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars to whom is deserved the blackness of darkness forever. Listen, it's the people that are not true that it's talking about. It starts here today. Changing, I'm about to die. Changing in our lives. Changing in our lives starts today. I can't change you. I can't do anything for you other than to preach a gospel, but maybe might plant something in your heart. That might do something for you, might change something in your life. Something that might touch your life. Something that might change it. Maybe there's something I'll say that might ignite something in your life. Amen. Maybe there's something that I'll say that possibly you'll say, you know what, Jeff's right. I need to do something different in my life. I'm tired of coming to church and leaving the same way I came. Maybe there's something I can change. Maybe there's something different that I can change. It's time to get down the road and do something different than just be what we've always been. Be who we've always been. You can't arrive until you leave the starting line. There's never been a marathon won yet that they won by standing at the starting line. There's never been a race won. They sit in the starting blocks, and when they shot off the gun, they just stayed there and waited for everybody else to come back around so they could say, well, I'm here already. I won. Pentecostals, listen to me. We so much look for the rapture so Jesus can take us from the starting line to the finish line without having to run a race. We look so much for Jesus to stand and listen, if I can just be good long enough and I can keep my stuff together, the rapture's coming and I won't have to run a race. I'll just stand here and I'll be raptured into the presence of God. Not to be in the presence of God, not necessarily, just so I don't have to run a race. It's time to get busy running race. It's time to get busy doing what God's called us to do. You'll never be blessed till you get off the starting line. Amen. God has given you everything you need. He's given you Jesus. He's given you salvation. He's given you the baptism of the Holy Ghost. He's given you everything you could possibly ever need. He's given you covenant blessing. He's given you everything. And we sit and we wait and say, God, when are you going to do something? He said, I'm waiting for you to move. I'm waiting for you to do something. I'm waiting for you to get hold of something. I'm waiting for you to get hold of me. I'm waiting for you to leave the starting line. It starts here. It starts here. Amen. Everything in your life starts here. Not necessarily this building, but with Jesus, everything starts right here. Amen. My life with the Lord started in this building at that altar. This very building at that very altar. That's where my journey with the Lord started. Did I always stay with the Lord? No. I rejected God and ran out and did my own thing for quite a little while, and long enough to find out how stupid I really was. But it started here. I left the starting blocks. I left the gate. I left the starting line. I didn't just stay here and say, I'm going to stay here until the Lord comes. Come on, somebody. Come on. I'm not just preaching from health here. I'm trying to get something across to you. Trying to get you to understand the thing. Trying to get you to realize that God is looking for somebody. Not listen, you may not be the most talented. You may not be the most precious person in the world. You may not be a pearl of great value to anybody else. But if you're willing to step and leave the starting line, if you're willing to do something, God said, I can use somebody that will do something. Because the steps of a good man are ordered of the Lord. Not the feet of a good man, but the steps of a good man are ordered of the Lord. You've got to go do something. You've got to step out and do something for God. Are you with me? You understand what I'm telling you? Yes. Somebody has got to get it in their spirit that I cannot any longer just be a churchgoer. I've got to be a Christian. I've got to be a Christian first of all and first and foremost. I've got to love Him more than I love my wife. I've got to love Him more than I love my money. I've got to love Him more than I love anything in my life. I've got to love Jesus, because if I don't love Jesus, nothing else works. Amen. Hey, somebody, help me just a minute. If I could just be good enough, Brother Jeff, I don't have to do all these things. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If I could just be good enough, Brother Jeff, Jesus is coming. What are you going to do if he doesn't come for the next 20 years? We don't know the date. We know the times and the seasons. But what happens if Jesus, what if God gives this world a little more time and he doesn't come back for the next 20 years? And I find myself fixing to turn 67 years old instead of 47 yeyears old. And I said, well, I'm just waiting on Jesus. And never accomplished one thing that God ever laid in my heart to do. Never did one thing that God ever called me to do because I was waiting on Jesus. I'm not saying not to wait on Jesus, but he didn't say just wait. He said, occupy till I come. Occupy till I come. Make a homestead till I come. Dig a well. Get some water going in this place. Plant some crops. Build a house. Do something. Get something going on in your life. Don't just simply sit at home and come to church and go home and come to church and go home and come to church and go home. Listen, Jesus didn't save you to go to church. He saved you to change the world. He didn't call me to pastor this church so I could preach on Sunday and Wednesday. He called me to change the world. Listen, I can preach anywhere. I've never had any problem going anywhere to preach. I'm not looking for a place. If you're willing to go, God will open doors. Whether you know which side of the Bible to use, God will open doors. When I didn't know how to even thumb my way through the index of the Bible, God opened doors. Nevertheless, the gospel's preached, whether I messed up my latches and Job, and Malachi Malachi, it didn't matter. Because nevertheless, the gospel was preached. I may have got the names wrong, but I got the story right. Amen. I may not have understood everything that I needed to understand, and I still don't. But the message was preached. Nevertheless, the gospel is preached. Nevertheless,
Amen.
The gospel is preached. Are you willing? As a church body, are you willing? Listen to me, church. Look at me. Look at my nose. As a church, are you willing to do what it takes? Come on now. Don't just amen me because you won't make me feel good. Are you willing to do what it takes? What does it take, Brother Jeff? It's going to take somebody falling on their face before God. Not just me. Not just a select few. But a church falling on their face before God and saying, God forgive me. 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 Forgive me not being passionate about souls. We're more passionate about cars and houses than we are souls. Ah, glory. It's 5 after 12. Y'all want me to quit? I'll quit.
Yeah. Preach on.
That's one.
Come on.
I'm not trying to make you mad this morning. I'm trying to stir your spirit. I'm trying to get you to understand that God is serious about lost and dying souls. I'm trying to get you to understand that God is serious about a church moving forward. A church going forward in the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm trying to tell you, listen, my pastor preached last Sunday night, and he preached this message. He preached, don't get distracted by the storm, just go to the other side. Amen. Listen, I still remember what the man preached because he was talking to me. I know y'all was here, but he was talking to me.
Amen.
I know y'all was here. But he's talking to me through you, through him. How many believe that God can speak to me through you?
Amen.
There's 150 people here that he was talking right to me. Quit worrying about the stinking storm, Jeff. When you start worrying about the storm, you won't make it to the other side. And there's 10% of people that do 90% of the work. And that 10% spends 80% of their time working on the 90%. Trying to get them to become 10%ers. My cry to you today is to go find an 80%er and make her a 10%er. Go find somebody who's full of God and go find somebody who really does. They want to listen. They want to do it, but they just don't know how because no one's ever taught them how to do it. They want to be right, but they just don't know how to be right. They want to do the right thing, but they get into that area where they're just complacent. Or does it matter? Yes, it does matter. It does matter because it starts here. It starts here. Start here. It starts here. No matter where you're going, listen, here's the cool thing, and I'll leave you alone, I promise. Everybody starts at different times, and we all have the same finish line. Heaven is my finish line. I hope to make it to heaven. Jesus, I want heaven to be my home. I want to make it to when I want to do anything else. I want heaven to be my home. And I heard a preacher say it this way one time. It doesn't matter if the streets are gold, the gates are pearl. It doesn't matter if the walls are jasper. It doesn't matter if there's anything like that at all. If the streets are made of mud and the gates are wooden and they open and close on leather hinges, wouldn't make any difference. For if Jesus is there, it's heaven to me. I don't know if you understand this or not. I don't mean this to be offensive at all, but I don't come to church to see you. I love you and I'm glad you're here. But I come to church for one purpose and one purpose only. I'm going to worship Him because of what He's done in my life, because of who He is. And if you worship or not, doesn't matter to me. Does it aggravate me? Yes. When I'm leading worship and I see a bunch of deadhead people sitting around not doing nothing but just waiting for us to quit so they can go to the next part of the service, yeah, it bugs me. Thank you for that, amen. It bugs me. Because I think, how in the world can you say, oh, how I love Jesus, and can't muster this? And it bugs me. I'm sorry I'm human, it bugs me. It bugs me. That's between you and the Lord. I'm not going to split over that with you. I'm not going to quit being in fellowship with you because I think you ought to clap and you don't know how to clap. Now some of y'all don't need to clap. Straight up, some of y'all don't need to clap, all right? Y'all can't clap. Y'all just messing service up. Okay, so you sit there and bob back and forth, whatever you need to do, but some of it's bad. Swat fly. You guys say swat fly. But hear me. I'm about to quit. Jesus will take you to the finish line. But you have to leave the starting blocks. You cannot continue in the same way that we are. We cannot. We must be who God's called us to be. Life changes. World changes. Situation changes. Disciple makers. Disciple makers. What does that mean? Listen, not a disciple of you. A disciple of Christ. Love in your heart for people. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. Not so someone can say how cool God is, but He loved the world. He didn't start the ministry of Jesus so everybody say, wow, how great Jesus is. He started because He loved the world and had passion for the world. Had passion for the world. I don't know if we really get that. Do we really get that? That the passion that Jesus has is supposed to be in us? The love that Jesus had for lost souls is supposed to be in us? Well, the Scripture says that He dwells inside of us. So why is it that passion is not there? Why is it the passion is not there? For the lost of the city. For the lost of the nation. Go. Starts here. Judgment starts right now at the house of God. That doesn't mean that God's going to come, I'm judging you, you sorry dog. But we're supposed to come judge ourselves. Check ourselves. Examine ourselves. Because if we don't, God will. That's right. If we don't look at ourselves in the mirror and determine who we are, I'll put it how Luke put it about the prodigal son. If we don't come to ourselves and realize who we are and where we're at some point, God's going to come and judge us. And I would rather look at myself in the mirror today and say, I need to change some stuff. Than have God say, I never knew you. I never knew you. Stand your feet with me.